But to set you up for today's trading session, our research team is here with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and of course the setup on the F&O side of things as well. Firstly, Vamakshi joins in to get all the market cues that we need to watch out for. Vamakshi, good morning. It was a fairly volatile close to what was a positive week for the markets, but what are you watching out for this morning?
Well, good morning, Hormaz. Of course, last week was extremely volatile with, the bulls as well as the bears, alternating their dominance in the session. Volatility spiked and the Nifty was up almost 1.3% last week. But it is the mid-cap as well as the small-cap index that managed to outperform. Both of them posted gains of anywhere between 2.4 to 2.5%. Now, the handover that actually came in from the US markets on Friday was not as great. All three indices closed lower after hitting record highs, and this is after weaker than expected US jobs report. Now, coming to this week, we're firstly keeping an eye out on the first sign of a thaw in India-US relations. Now, on Friday, Trump said India and US have a special relationship, and PM Modi said he deeply appreciated and fully reciprocated Trump's sentiments and positive assessment of bilateral trade. So some positive rub-off could come from this. But apart from that, lots of economic cues to watch out for this week. Starting today, we'll be watching out for the Japanese GDP number. September 10th, we'll be keeping an eye out on the US PPI number as well as the crude oil inventories. September 11th is ECB's interest rate decision as well as US core PPI as well as the US initial jobless claims, and on September 12th we'll be keeping an eye out on the India's CPI number, that is the inflation number, and UK's GDP. Now, apart from that, a whole host of auto stocks will be in focus because they have announced price cuts and will be passing on the benefits of the GST rate rationalization to the consumers. So overall, the setup today looks quite positive. Asian markets, as Hormaz was pointing out earlier, are also up, and the GIFT Nifty too indicating a positive start to our own markets.
Indeed, remains to be seen whether this 65-point uptick sustains, of course, as the session goes by. But Vamakshi, since you are here with us, also tell us the stocks that you are keeping your eyes out on ahead of today's session.
Well, Hormaz, keeping an eye out on Tata Motors as well as Mahindra, because M&M that is, because they will be passing on GST rate reduction to the customers, and Hyundai Motors have also announced price reduction of up to 2.5 lakhs, and they will again be passing on the benefits to the customer. BHEL is the next counter that we're watching out for. They've entered a long-term pact with Horizon Fuel Cell to create and enter new market segments. Keep an eye out on Vedanta as well. Vedanta Group has emerged as a top bidder for Jaiprakash Associates in open challenge round. Vedanta actually outbid Adani Group with a total offer of around 17,000 crores, and some of the other suitors as well, Dalmia Bharat Group, Jindal Power, PNC Infratech, however, did not submit their bids. Now, keep an eye out on SpiceJet because the revenue for this company has seen a dip of almost 34%, and they've managed to report a net loss of around 234 crores as compared to a profit of 158 crores in the same quarter last year. Aurobindo Pharma in focus because the US FDA has concluded inspection at the company's manufacturing unit in Telangana with 8 observations, and Zydus Life Science as well. The US FDA has concluded inspection at the manufacturing facility in Vadodara, Gujarat with 4 observations. And lastly, keep an eye out on PNB Housing Finance because they've managed to approve issuance of NCDs up to 5,000 crores via private placement.
Vamakshi, thank you for the trade setup as well as the stocks that you need to keep an eye out for today. And lastly, Mangalam joins in with cues from the F&O space. Mangalam, good morning. Well, a choppy end to the week, but what is the F&O data indicating at the start of a new one?
Well, for all the pull and push that happened, the Nifty did manage to gain about 1.5% all of last week. The important part, over the weekend, we did get US-India relations that are in focus post, conciliatory posts coming in from both Trump and Modi. The question is what happens from here on, and the GIFT Nifty is indicating that there would be a positive start. The street would have liked a slightly higher start than what the GIFT Nifty is indicating, but be that as it may, the FIs, they're selling every rally. 520 crore worth sell in index futures that took place on Friday's trading session as well. They unwound 1,300 longs, added about 1,500 shorts, and their shorts are now near record high because if you look at the FI exposure, 7% long, 93% short, and the net contracts are near 2 lakh on the short side. So that's telling you that there is a really one-sided trade that the FIs are taking. So the question here will be, will trade talks actually lead to some sort of FII short covering? Why do I say that? Because domestically things are doing well. Our GDP data was good. We had the GST cut that came by as well. Ahead of festive season, demand is supposed to be buoyant. So all these factors may work for us. The only fly in the ointment would be the trade talks, and now the belief is that maybe that may move in the right direction as well. FII short covering is something that we'll be watching out for. It's not just index futures, they've been selling in cash market as well. We saw a sale of close to around 1,300 crores in the previous trading session. Now the Nifty likely to open around the 100-day moving average. It's saved the 20-day moving average or protected that for the last few trading sessions. The question is whether we go past that 50-day moving average and look at that 25,000 mark or not at some point. And were we to do that, then the important level to track will be the August 21 high of 25,154 that came in the week post Prime Minister Modi's Independence Day speech. The active Nifty options indicate that there would be some support at 24,700. The 24,800 put is telling you that, but closer to 24,900 as we move towards 24,870, 880, we will see some sort of resistance. That's what the call writers at 24,800 are indicating. The question is, this GIFT Nifty gap up that comes about, will that sustain? Will we build onto that? Or maybe, like all we saw last week, that gets sold into too?
We will keep an eye out on all of that, and that remains the big question, whether this gap up does manage to sustain as the session goes by. Mangalam, thank you for that update.